Hello, and welcome to another Smite video. This time we're going to be talking about the importance of positioning. And before we do that, I'd just like to point out that this video is a good example, and a good example of a team composition, which is actually pretty balanced and works together. So, what do I mean about positioning? Well, positioning is basically where you are relative to the map and where you are relative in regards to your teammates. Good positioning means that you can get to your teammate very quickly and you can aid him and not die, because you're going to be surrounded or crowd controlled out or peeled away. Bad positioning is when you get peeled away from your team and are basically in a spot where there's nothing much you can really do apart from take damage and hopefully kill more people before they can kill you. Positioning is one of those things that I've learnt from FPS games, and a lot of people, well, they don't learn it because it's a skill that comes with time and, well, knowledge of the game. Positioning is actually pretty relative and changes constantly. This is why it's actually one of the hardest things to teach players. Okay, so now we got over the very basics of it, which I probably haven't explained properly. Let's talk about why positioning is important and some examples. Positioning is important because it can turn the tide of a fight based on your decisions. If you position poorly in a certain situation, then you're at a disadvantage. As you can see here, I've moved away because they're coming in from behind, and as you can see, my entire team do the same, especially the ones that are squishy. Ares goes in and initiates, and then we got Ami going in, and everyone else then goes in afterwards. Fenrir is now out of position, and well, quickly, there you go. That's an example there of a poor decision making on the enemy's team's part. His teammates backed off. He should have backed off a lot sooner, and we came in at the right time and positioned ourselves correctly. This video is full of examples like that, where you can see situations and times where my team gets positioning wrong or the enemy team does. So, now we've actually somewhat explained positioning and just giving you an example, we're about to show you a very devastating combo and a good team comp. Yeah, that was 4 members out of 5 on their team, and well, that's what happens when you don't pick up beads with Ares and Cecilia on the other team. You really want to be careful. Now, let's go back to positioning, and I'm going to actually stop talking for a while.
An enemy has left the game. With this, the tides grow stronger.
Now, some players may have heard of a term called overextending, and you're about to see a good example here. As you can see, Fenrir has initiated, backed off, Phantos now comes in, initiating on me, and then decides to back off. I then get ulted, and well, you're about to see what happens next. Slows me, but look at where he is. He's right next to my spawn, and well, he's overextended himself because my entire team are now around him. Now, you can actually use this example in Arena and learn it in Conquest. What a lot of players do in Conquest is they will go too close to the enemy team's tower without having vision or knowledge of what's happening next, or backup, and well, they would get that happen to them pretty much, where they get isolated and then killed. Although you may think that this is only an example you can use in Arena, you can actually apply it to, well, every single game mode. And that was the point I was trying to make. It may not look like it is relevant to any other game mode, but in reality it really is. And well, here's another combo, and you're about to see what happens when Fenrir gets out of position again, even though we've overextended.
This will turn the tide of battle.
Now, the following example you're about to see one of my teammates make a crucial mistake, and well, is a bit of out of position because they're being a bit overly aggressive. Watch and see. Now, that could have easily been me, but unfortunately it was not, and well, it turned out in our favour. With a panic ult at the end, I believe. And then, this happens. But wait, look, Thanatos is now out of position, and well, he's dead. Instead of backing off, Thanatos decides to challenge us, and well, quite frankly, after his team had just been completely dominated and wiped out, there was no real point in doing it. Worse still, he went after the highest health person on the team, which was, well, me.
With this, the tides grow stronger.
Now, what you're about to see is actually pretty risky, but it does work out in our favour. As you can see though, our entire team is going in apart from Ares, who's now backed off, and well, our assassin then goes fully in for the kill and gets it. That was sort of out of position though, and you can see that he pays the price after getting ulted by himself. And then Ami decides to back off due to being, well, out of position. You can see everyone backs off and decides that we're going to try and do the combo again. Because, well, it's worked off and everyone's now in position. Ares is at the front. Ami's at the front, sort of, with me. And, well, there we go. That was a good example there of our entire team backing off at the right time, getting back in position, and well, just completely destroying a team out of position, sort of. We are being completely overly aggressive at this stage, but given the score, you can sort of see why. We're pretty much pushing them into their spawn, and well, there's not much they can really do. Okay, so I've given you a couple examples where it works out in our favour, but here's a couple mistakes, and we're about to see one of them. Now, as I said earlier, we are being really aggressive, and I'm trying to get stacks, and we can see we're being singled out there. But watch what happens. Our entire team is now split up, and well, one person is being chased down. Ares comes in to try and peel. I hit Chuck to peel some more, and now Thanatos is completely out of position, and well, what happens next is that you can see there that Ares was actually quite smart and decided to peel Thanatos. I peeled Chuck, and well, there's another example of positioning. A lot of players seem to struggle with this mentality and struggle with this concept, but it's actually pretty simple. The warriors are basically meant to peel people and, well, attack the backline. The Guardians are meant to pretty much do the same and initiate. And then the mages and hunters then clean up. Oh, and unfortunately it turns out they've actually bought beads. Well, they bought beads out of respect of the combo, which we've managed to hit them with 4 times. Now I know what you're thinking, how does this relate to Conquest? Well, if you think of this as basically a Conquest tower, you can see that positioning is actually rather important. If you overextend and get out of position and get isolated, then you will die very quickly, as we see here. You've seen that a couple times in the video where Fenrir will go for the wrong target, and quite frankly he will then die, or he will go for a target and then get too greedy and be out of position. What you're about to see next is actually an example of where I failed to try and take notice of what's going on, and as you can see, sometimes you don't get the most perfect plays because quite frankly it's quite hard to think on the go, hit targets with your abilities, and also as well position correctly. You can see here my team is backing off, which I realised, and I decided I'm going to play semi-defensively. I'm going to try and clear the minion waves, and then I'm going to sort of get behind the minions. But as you can see, I didn't realise my teammate was to the right of me, and he gets singled out and isolated very easily. You can see I then back off. Thanatos then goes in for the kill. I turn around and well, there we go. That was an example of me being sort of out of position to not protect our assassin, and well, Thanatos then going in at the wrong person.
With this, the tides grow stronger. Ultimate is ready.
Now, what you're about to see here is actually quite an interesting play. Well, in my opinion. Ares uses his ult. We then get another ult off of my teammate. We then get Fenrir picks up someone. We then get an ult off of me. And I nice heal 2 people and we clean up the rest of them. Now, in that scenario, they were actually in a good position. The problem was though, they didn't expect everyone else to follow up afterwards, and well, there you go. Now, to be fair to their credit, it was actually a problem with their team composition. If they had enough kill and enough crowd control, then they could probably have won that, but they didn't. They've had an internally squishy team. And there's some voice lines BM because, you know. Now as you can see here, I can see Fenrir's going for the buff, and we quickly then try and isolate him. We don't get the kill, but we manage to force him back. Oh look, Fenrir is now out of position again. And look, Sanctuary's now been used, and well, I used the Kraken. That was an example there of me waiting because I just saw they used a relic. As I said, Smite gives you information you want to be taken into account when relics are used, when relics are not used, and try and work out when they're on cooldown. You can actually do quite a bit of damage with this information. Smite gives you lots of information, and sometimes it can be quite overwhelming to process, and sometimes, well, you can get it wrong. It's just a case of playing more and trying to work out when it works and when it doesn't. We're about to see a very good example here. Watch what happens. I see a couple members of the team who just used beads, which means when my Kraken comes up on cooldown in the next 10 seconds or so, I'm going to be able to use it without much trouble. Because they're going to have nothing. They're going to have no beads to stop the slow, they're going to have no Sanctuary to protect them from the Kraken. And Fenrir's now going for Ares. You can see he's just moved out of position. Ami's now out of position, and well, there's an easy kill. That was a bit risky, I'm not going to lie. We were sort of out of position there, but we did have the advantage of them having low health. And well, not having anything to stop the slow or damage. You can see here, I'm completely out of position, and well, Ares is still here to protect me, but he can't really do much. But it doesn't matter because we win the game, and well, it was actually quite an easy victory due to the score. If you would like to like the video and comment or subscribe to me, go ahead and do so. And I hope you have a lovely day. I don't claim to be the best player in the world, but I hope this is useful. I may have actually got a couple of these things wrong because, well, quite frankly, I'm just a casual Smite player. But I hope you have a lovely day, and thank you for watching my video.